Hello, is it me you're looking for? Hello. Hello. Welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name is Jason Newland. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. This is Let Me Bore Your Anxiety Away. If you listen to my previous things, my previous recordings, you may see a pattern evolving. So this is the third, technically the fourth, but the third out of the recordings that I'm going to be doing regularly. I already do the Let Me Bore You to Sleep, the Let Me Bore Your Pain Away, which is for chronic pain, and now Let Me Bore Your Anxiety Away. A few years ago I did do Let Me Bore Your Stress Away, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to be a bit more specific, aiming to help people that are dealing with anxiety. And as I got a lot of knowledge about this subject from first-hand experience, which I may discuss a little bit during the recordings, but you know, it's not really about me. Of course it is, it's all about me. I know, this is just something that is close to my heart, and I know, I just realised my collar's sticking up. Why didn't anyone tell me? That's better. And yeah, maybe this is something that would have been useful to me back then. I mean, there was internet, but there was no YouTube back then when it was at its worst, 2003, 2004. If you can see in the background, I have a throw over the settee, but it's not big enough to cover the whole thing. I can't believe it. So it's only covered the bottom part. If you see behind me, it's yellow. I thought it was going to cover the whole thing. I'm just trying to make the background a little bit less. I mean, I suppose what I could do is readjust the camera in order to give the illusion that it's covered. But I'm not sure if it would reach up that far. It's possible. But I'm only going to put the cover on when I make a video. I'm not going to be having it on there the whole time. I mean, at the moment, actually there's stuff underneath that cover. Like I've got a book that I write in, and a few other bits and bobs on the kind of where my thumb's pointing. No, the other side. I'm just trying to think, maybe I could cover up. So if I manage to move here, I could probably just cover up half of the settee, and you wouldn't know the other half wasn't covered. I might do that. Yeah. Not now. Or shall I do that? Shall I stop the recording, do that, and then come back and see if it works? I can't be bothered. Or shall I? I might do. I don't know. I don't know. So this is just me talking. That's it. Just talking and being boring, I suppose. And I invite you to listen and just see if it's useful. You may also find the Let Me Bore You to Sleep recordings useful for reducing anxiety, and you may also find the Let Me Bore Your Pain Away, because it's a similar process, although the Let Me Bore Your Pain Away is kind of focused on chronic pain, and the anxiety recording, this is focused on reducing anxiety, increasing comfort, relaxation. So I will be talking about some techniques. I mean, the technique it's not really a technique as such, but it is kind of, I mean, I did a podcast where there's over 200 recordings, which was relaxation for anxiety and stress. And there was loads of techniques I did during that period of doing those. That was a few years ago. I mean, I've done a few new ones, but most of them were from a long time ago. I want to now have a look. It's going to bug me if I don't. So let's have a look. What's the podcast called? Relaxation. I've got down relaxation for stress and panic. That's what I called it, because it needed a shorter title, basically. Where are you? Oh, there you go. So there are 236 different recordings. And the last one was the 1st of March, which was only a few days ago. It's now the 14th. But if I go into number one was... Blimey. Oh, what, really? Number one, it hasn't got a date. There's no date. That's no good. Number 226 was the 5th of February 2021. 53. So number 53 was the 8th of September 2019. So I think the first one was around beginning of 2018. I think. Let's see if I can go down a little bit, see if I can find some lower numbers. Because they were number 40. Oh, what did you do that for? If I go for number 20, let's see, number 20. Number 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, oh, come on. I don't know why it's hiding. It's hiding from me. Number 20. I'm just looking for like one of the more lower numbers so I can get an idea, because number one was not coming up. It is on there, but the search isn't always great on this. Mind you, I wonder if I go onto my website, maybe it'll be easier. So this is on the podcast. If I could spell my name. Okay. So, podcasts. So I go down to, what's it called? The Relaxation for Stress and Panic Attacks. One. Okay, let me have a look, see if I can find anything. No. I've also got a podcast called Stress and Pain Relief, because I realised that you can use the same techniques for both. So if you've got for example, somebody's got, well, me, for example, I've got lower back pain due to arthritis. The things I could do to reduce that physical discomfort, I could use on a feeling of anxiety. So certain techniques, changing the shapes, moving it away from you, sitting with it. I don't mean like sitting and having a cup of tea, but, you know, just being there, not trying to push it away. Because sometimes trying to push something away, takes more energy. Because if you've got someone that's actually not pushing against you, but they're standing their ground, and they're stopping you being pushed, stopping being pushed forward. But then you stop pushing, and they still just stand there. Because it's the standard thing to do. If something pushes against you, is to push back. It's just human nature to do that. But actually, they might only be pushing like that a little bit. And if you let them, they might only move forward an inch. I mean, we all know an inch is a lot, but, an inch is not a huge amount compared to a mile. So using these techniques, I mean, I'm not necessarily going to be going into all these different techniques, but I'll kind of talk about some of the things. I've been looking online, looking at some of the different techniques for anxiety relief. Got one here called the 4-3-2-1 grounding technique. And so what I'll do, I'll just discuss it. I'm not going to go through the tech. Well, I might try the technique myself, but I'm not necessarily going to ask you to do it, because this isn't a hypnosis recording. This is just me talking. But if you want to join along with me, then go ahead. So what I'm going to do, this is the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. Look around. So number one is look around. No, that's not helped. Oh, right. Name 5 things you can see in the room. Okay, 5 things. What, out loud? Inside? I don't think it's relevant. It doesn't matter if you say it inside your mind, or... Because if you're sitting on a train, or maybe you're sitting on a tube, or, public transport, or you're waiting in, doctor's surgery, and you might be facing someone, so you don't necessarily want to start saying out loud, a chair, curtains, a ceiling, a floor, because you might end up seeing a different kind of doctor. So you can say it inside your head, or you can say it out loud. It's up to you. It's your choice. The next thing is tune in. Name 4 things you can physically feel. So this is a very mindfulness thing. So 4 things you can physically feel. So if I say, I find 5 things that I can see. I can see my curtains. I can see my television behind, well, it's actually in front of me. That's not behind, is it? That's behind. But it's behind the camera, but it's in front of me there. So the TV, 4 things. I've got the desk and my bottle of water. That's 4 things. You might not feel the need to pick up everything that you name. I mean, that would have been quite difficult for the TV because it's quite heavy. Then tune into 5 things. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Microphone. I can see the microphone. So tune into 4 things I can physically feel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close my eyes for this one, because, to be honest, I'm a little bit tired. I like closing my eyes. It's one of my favourite things. which is probably a little bit sad, really, but hey. So I can feel my bottom on the chair. I can feel my lower back. In fact, I can feel most of my back leading up to kind of the middle of my back, leaning against the chair. Weirdly enough, more of my back's now moving against the chair. It's kind of strange, actually. Once I started focusing on my back, it did start to relax. I can feel my hands resting on my knees. So that's 3 things. I can feel my feet on the floor. I mean, I've got Crocs. I've got pink Crocs, actually. Not quite sure why I'm telling you that, but I do. You don't believe me? Look at this. Don't look at my head. Look, pink Crocs. Sometimes I forget I've got pink Crocs. Like the other day I went out into the front of the house, like into the street, and I forgot I had pink Crocs on, and I smiled at someone that was walking past and thinking that she was smiling and almost like internally laughing. Maybe I'd spoken to her before and she was recalling a humorous story that I told her. But on reflection, I don't think I'd ever seen her before, and I think it was just the pink Crocs. It might have been the snorkel and the snow boots as well. Pink Crocs and snow boots. And a parachute. Yeah, I mean, it could have been a number of things. So number 3, listen. Listen. Name 3 things you can hear. E.g. What does E.g.? I mean, I know what it's for, but E.g. Because example is an EX, isn't it? EXAMPLE. E.g. What does it stand for? Example glossary, is it? Don't know. E.g. a clock ticking or distant traffic. Okay, so I'm going to close my eyes so I can listen for something. I can hear a little dog chewing on a bone. I can hear the slight buzzing of the, I think they're halogen or whatever lights that I've got around me. So I can hear that. It's very gentle, but I can hear that. I mean, I suppose, technically, clearly, I can hear my voice. But I can't hear it when I'm not talking. I can hear a bag because that throw behind me on the sofa, I just unpacked it because it got delivered today, and the bag, the packaging that it was in, I crunched up and just chucked on the floor like I do. You can probably see it behind me, it's down there, but it's crinkling. It's like it's kind of unwrapping itself a little bit, so I can hear sporadic little crinkles of that. So that's 3 things. And then 4, identify, this is name 2 things you can smell or recall smells you enjoy if nothing's in range. 2 things I can smell. Does me needing a bath, does that count? I think you know when you need a bath if you can smell yourself. Because, you know, we tend to get a little bit nose blind when it comes to smelling our own house and stuff. So, yeah. I'll have to have a bath later. So, no, what can I smell? I need to think with my nose I could smell a mile away, but I can't. The heating's on, so I can kind of smell the radiators make a certain smell. I can smell Vinny a little bit, I think. That's been the hardest one so far, actually. So, looking around, that's pretty easy. Tune in, physically, that was easy. Listen, probably easy, but I mean, looking around is possibly the easiest thing of all, because there's not infinite number of things to focus on visually, but there's, I don't know how many different objects there are in this room, but there's more things to notice than there would be to hear. I can hear Vinny, I don't know where he is. He's over there somewhere behind me. He's doing something. What is he doing? He doesn't like the throw. Doesn't want to go on there. I wonder if he will, though. Because it hasn't got his smell, is it? It's like an alien to him. But trying to notice something I smell, that's, yeah. No, I can't really smell much. But there's the 2 things. I can kind of smell Vinny a little bit and kind of smell the radiators. The heat has a certain kind of smell, and yeah, I mean, I don't really want to sort of start smelling myself. Focus. One thing you can taste or imagine tasting something pleasant. I can taste my mouth. Yeah, I can taste my mouth. So, I mean, I don't know how I would explain it. I mean, it tastes like my mouth. It's almost, I mean, I would say it's almost a neutral kind of, did I say smell? Taste. I could taste my mouth. So I just have a drink of water, maybe cleanse the palate. Made no difference. No, I can taste the water. But isn't water a really difficult thing to actually describe? What does it taste like? Tastes like water. But then, in a way, aren't all things like that? Like you eat a banana, what's it taste like? It tastes like banana. Doesn't really taste like anything else. I mean, there are some things that do taste like things. So, you know, if you eat something that's got other ingredients in, like a fruit cake, you may be able to taste the sugar. You may be able to taste the cinnamon if there's cinnamon in it. You may be able to taste the if there's currants or apricots. I want some cake now. Cake and a cup of tea, that'd be lovely. I've never wanted cake so much as I do right now. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. Just going to imagine tasting some cake. Take a bite of the cake and then a sip of the tea as well. You know, kind of squish it around a little bit. It wouldn't look very nice inside my mouth, but it would taste nice. I mean, we wouldn't present it on a plate in a restaurant, but, oh, yum yum. I do that sometimes with food, mix things together, like mashed potato and vegetables, like all different types of vegetables. I mix it all in one big blob. So you've got Brussels sprouts, carrots, maybe a bit of cabbage. But, you know, a bit of cabbage, broccoli, green beans, maybe sweet corn, and just mix it all together, like into some potato, mashed potato, or make the mashed potato with those. So you basically using the masher to put it all together. I think I'm going to do that today. I'm going to have some potatoes and some chicken, and I'm going to make I've got green beans and some carrots. So what I'll do is maybe cook that all together with the potatoes and make a nice potato, green bean, carrot mashed potato. And maybe a little bit of olive oil instead of butter. A little bit healthier maybe. I suppose I could add an egg. I don't know. I know someone that used to add eggs to mashed potato, and she was a really good cook actually. But I was a little bit, I don't know how I felt about the egg. Seemed a bit strange. Seemed a bit unusual, a little bit wacky. Possibly uncalled for. Maybe a little bit extravagant. I mean, it might even be on the verge of showing off. I don't know. I mean, does that turn something ordinary into gourmet? I don't know. I would never eat gourmet. I would never eat anything I can't spell, which does limit my diet somewhat. Can't even remember the last time I was in a restaurant. Oh yes, I can. I mean, is a pub a restaurant? I don't mean this disrespectfully to any pubs that have restaurants in the pubs, but is it really a restaurant? Is it? Because you got some of these gastro places and they're pubs, aren't they? But just with seating. But to me, a restaurant is somewhere you go where there isn't a bar. There, there's waiting service, and you go to your table and everything's there. Everything comes to you, is brought to you, which makes it very relaxing. But I had my Christmas dinner in a... If you're wondering why my eyes are closed, it's because I want to close my eyes. It's more relaxing. Plus, it's very bright in here. Like, I've got a lot of lights on me. You should see me without the lights. I'm almost transparent. I mean, I look like I've got pink skin, but I'm not. I'm completely white like a ghost. No, I'm not. But it's very light. A lot of light shining on me. And I'm not a big fan of having light shining in my face. So it's quite nice to be able to close my eyes and just, relax a little bit. Just let go of that stuff, because after all, this is kind of part of what it's all about. Doing these type of recordings is about letting go and relaxing, being calm and cool and groovy. It's just allowing yourself some time, even if it is just for half an hour or an hour a day. You can listen to me and just switch off for a bit. And as like all of my stuff, it really is a case of, is it useful? And if it is, then keep listening, keep watching. I do think, though, that the benefit comes from listening or watching regularly, because I guess those pathways that are created, those new pathways created in your brain, that go from like listening to my voice to feeling more relaxed, to listen to my voice creates that sense of comfort and almost switches off whatever energy you had before, which was before you listened to this, which was causing distress. And now, sometimes I've noticed that it's really a case of not caring. And I don't mean not caring about anything, but taking a break from caring. Like just not caring. Taking an hour off. It's nice to take an hour off and not give a hoot about anything or anyone. It doesn't mean that you stopped caring, really. It doesn't mean that it doesn't make someone a bad person because they took an hour off. But it's healthy. It's useful, beneficial. In other words, that mean the same thing. To allow yourself to have that hour where, you could meditate, you could do something else, or you could listen to me waffle on about nothing for an hour. But during that time, the part of you that was worrying or panicking or concerned tends to get switched off, or at the very least turned down. The dial is turned down so that you're less responsive, less reactive to outside things or even to thoughts. almost to the point where when you start ignoring the thoughts, they'll eventually stop presenting themselves to you. And there's also, a point to be made about if you can imagine something, an event being negative and turning out wrong, what that means is you've got a very good creative mind. It also means that if you can imagine a situation that hasn't happened yet going one way, you can imagine it going another way. There's no difference. But chances are you're going to be affected by whichever one you imagine. So if you're imagining, I don't know, a negative result. Let's say you're going out and you imagine feeling a certain way that you don't want to feel. You can use that same process by imagining going out and feeling a way that you do want to feel. There's no difference in the process, but there's a lot of difference in the results. Because the more often you decide to plan ahead, feeling relaxed, feeling calm, feeling at peace, the more likelihood you will actually have more of those feelings. So it's kind of, I know it's quite simplistic, but most of the things that are useful are often very simple, which can sometimes put people off. I think and I understand it from the perspective of, from a human perspective, the idea that something simple can help to give emotional relief and physical relief. Something simple when perhaps you may have felt that you tried everything. Perhaps you felt that because of the way that you had been feeling, this must be a complicated thing. And because the experience has been so negative that you, and powerful as well at times, and has felt very real, that something simple won't even touch the edges. But sometimes it's the simplest things can have the most benefit. And other times it's lots of different simple things, an accumulative bunch of ideas and thoughts that can resonate with you, with your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, with your body, with your brain, with your nerves. And the idea of turning down that reactiveness starts to feel nice. Realizing that you're not just a slave to your feelings. Realizing that you have a lot more control than you were aware of before. Because the logic thing is, why would I, if I've got control, why would I therefore do this to myself? Why would I cause myself to feel this way? But it's not really saying that. It's just saying you've got control to choose to feel differently. And those things you focus most on are those things you're going to get most of. So if you start to think about how relaxed you're going to feel ahead of time, how relaxed you're going to feel in every situation that's coming up. And when you look in the past, you remember all the times when you felt relaxed and calm. Only those times, only those feelings. And you can test for yourself in real time how that feels for you, how that changes the way your mind operates. When you think about a positive, happy moment where you felt completely relaxed and calm and peaceful. And how that feels when you focus just on that feeling. Getting more of what we focus on. So you're going to get more of that feeling. In the same way as planning ahead. And I don't think we always plan, we don't mean to plan, but it's natural to plan a little bit, to kind of imagine what's going to happen and how it's going to turn out. Even some of the mundane things like maybe going shopping or catching a bus. Those things based upon experiences. So if you're going to base how we think it's going to be in the next few hours, how you're going to feel based on how you felt previously, knowing that actually it's a powerful technique. So if you was to focus on negativity, a negative experience, then chances are, well, you're going to expect that, and it's more likely to happen. And even if it doesn't happen, how relaxed will you be with that expectation? Yet when you just pour that down the drain and let that go, and you remember previous times, it doesn't have to be like when everything was wonderful. It could just be a very boring, standard, calm situation. Maybe you caught a bus or a train. The train turned up, the bus turned up. Choose one. I mean, you'll be getting both. You might get a bus and a train, but separately, different journeys and that. But you might get on, sit down, uneventful, uninteresting, just nothing. I mean, you're not going to be rushing home to write a poem about it. You may not put that down in your diary to celebrate it every year and buy yourself chocolates and flowers, or maybe try and find the train and relive that journey again, doing cartwheels all the way to the train station. I mean, that might not be the case, because not all journeys are going to be super exciting. So when you think about something that was just a bit mundane, a bit, I guess, neutral when it comes to feelings, but relaxing, calm, peaceful, and maybe expect that feeling, the feeling of kind of no feelings, no reactions or any responses, just basic traveling, getting on a train, and just getting to your destination easily, without any hassle or any problems or any drama or anything super exciting or super happy either. You might want to think about something that was really good, a really nice experience. I mean, maybe you get on a train and you sit down and you hear a dog drinking out of a big bowl of water. And you wonder, how much water can that dog drink? And then he stops drinking and he goes towards the door, trying to get out the door and just wondering why he can't get out the door. Why is it closed? When I try to explain to him it's closed because he barks. When the door's open, he barks. If I let him in the bedroom, he'll stand on a windowsill or sit on the windowsill in the bedroom, looking out, and when he sees something, he gets excited, he starts barking. Which isn't really fair on the neighbours, not really. So you imagine that planning ahead of time, which is what we do naturally, especially when it comes to the subject we've been talking about, the reason why you've been listening. So instead of planning for a negative outcome, we plan for a positive outcome. A relaxing, calm journey or experience, whatever it is we're going to be doing. That expectation is so powerful. That's one of the things that's super powerful, is what we expect so often does come true because of our expectation. And it might be as simple as just that's what we focus on. If you used to get off an airplane and you're going to walk through the air, out of the airport, through a busy airport, and you're expecting to see people wearing, I don't know, white trousers. And that's what you're expecting to see. Or you expect to see people that have got dark hair. If that's just an expectation, what do you think you're going to focus on? What are you going to notice when you walk through that airport? That's the thing you're going to notice. You're going to notice the people with the dark hair, or the people with flip-flops, or whatever it is, People with cowboy hats, if that's what you're expecting. You travel to Texas, you might, especially if you're from the UK, assume that everyone that lives in Texas wears those 10-gallon hats like J.R. Ewing. See, Vinny's now scraping at you see, he's in the background, he's on the throw, he doesn't like it, he's scratching at it because he just doesn't know what to make of it. It's turned into a toy for him. I thought it'd be quite comfortable for him. I'm surprised he's not just laying down on it and enjoying the physical delight of the different fabric. It looks like he might lay down in a minute. Unless he's trying to make himself a little pillow. Oh, there he is. I think he's now comfortable. But I suppose because I'm covered up the smell a little bit, haven't I? I mean, really, he is looking, isn't he? He's looking at me. Okay. That's what I was expecting him to do, actually. I thought, he wouldn't like it to start with, wouldn't necessarily agree with what I've done, but he'll come around to a new idea that maybe, there's different ways of doing things, and having that throw on the settee is just the latest thing. And I think he's quite liking it, actually. He seems quite peaceful, quite relaxed. Yeah. Seems relaxed and calm. I look at him and sometimes I just think, how relaxed you must feel. How relaxed is your body right now? Your eyes, your face, your hands, your back, your tummy, chest, legs, feet, toes. He just looks so calm, so peaceful. And I like that. I like seeing him like that. It's nice. It's a nice feeling. Yeah, it is. I wonder what it would be like if we all just decided to start to plan to feel calm and comfortable, almost expect to feel relaxed and peaceful. And how nice it would be to actually feel surprised at how relaxed and calm you now feel in your body and in your mind. And those thoughts that were racing around, maybe going in a circle of... It seems like sometimes that a kind of recording like this can interrupt the process of constantly thinking about, oh, this is going to happen and this is going to happen, and rah, 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 rah. And then and it's almost like a continual circle. But once it's interrupted, snipped, interrupted with a gap. Because it's a little bit like electricity, isn't it? If you break the circuit and it can't work. You disconnect a wire, the whole thing stops working. And I guess it's a little bit like that with thought processes and the energy connected to the thought. And sometimes the feelings seem to disconnect a little bit from thoughts. Feelings that used to be there don't seem to care anymore. And maybe, just maybe, it's worth considering the possibility that actually what you truly want for yourself, and when I say you, I'm talking about maybe your unconscious mind, your brain, your nervous system, your internal organs, your bones, your skin, your body, your future. maybe that all wants, what it wants is for you to feel more relaxed and peaceful. It's possible you could just open the door and let that love in. Realizing that doorway that was maybe only allowing a lot of negative stuff in before, now is allowing healthy, positive feelings and thoughts into your mind and your body, allowing you to feel at peace and at the same time in control of how you feel as you make that decision to make those changes and allow these changes to continue, so that that feeling of comfort grows, becomes larger, to the point where relaxation has completely replaced all of that past negative stuff that used to be there. And it can feel quite nice to let go completely. And to enjoy feeling relaxed. Enjoy feeling comfort. Just an idea. Vinny's fallen fast asleep. Is his eyes open? I can't remember. I can't see. It's hard to see from here. But he's definitely looks comfortable. He's going to be annoyed with me now because I'm going to take that off when I finish this. Bless him. It's just that the sofa's very worn, which is not ideal. No. I spoke to someone to see if they'd maybe take it away. I thought I'd just replace it with a cheap version of a ladyboy. Not a ladyboy, a lazy boy. Wow, it's a Freudian slip. A lazy boy. And maybe do that. Have that instead. But I don't know if Vinny will like that. I'm not sure. I suppose if I can cover up all the wear and tear of it, it might make it a little bit better. We'll see. So, that's pretty much the end of this recording. I don't really know what I talked about. It was just chatting, really, just having a little chin wag. And I'm planning to do more of these as I aim to really focus more on the let me bore you stuff, like the let me bore you to sleep. I do generally every day. Let me bore your pain away, and now let me bore your anxiety away. So, just me being boring and hopefully useful. So I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. Lots of love. Bye.